How's it going, everybody? Reach here, and welcome back to The 1v1s, an ongoing series where I 1v1 my friends and perhaps some of your favorite content creators. But today, I'm coming at you with a hard hitter, and well, the title already spoiled it, but it's Zweek, who you may know from these videos. Match 1, start!
What's poppin', gamers? Yo, hello, I'm Zweek. I make the video about Titanfall and other games occasionally, mostly like on the technical side of things. Oh my god! That was so instant!
Oh boy.
Imagine I hit those. Oh my god! I'm so cooked.
Okay.
I was weak. I resorted to my secondary. I must remain a man of principle. Stick with the EPG at all costs.
Oh!
Got him.
Oh. No! Oh,
Which one of those is you? Oh my god!
Oh, I'm so bad.
I'm so sad. I'm so sad. I'm so sad. This is tragic. This is so tragic.
Oh my god! No! Oh,
dude!
yes.
Oh, the reload.
I think it's a good time for the first question. So this is gonna be like a pretty simple one. Well, depending on your answer, it might not be so simple. But when did you start playing Titanfall, and what made you want to speedrun the game in the first place?
So I think it must have been like 20. I don't remember exactly when I started playing it, like, as a whole. I do remember that my first run was in, like, December of 2019. And I think it wasn't too long from when I started playing it first to when I, like, looked at a speedrun of it and I was like, oh, I have to speedrun this. It must have, like, maybe, like, a few months. So it was probably, like, at the very earliest, I played it first in, like, summer of 2019. And then I think it was Brian Otto's GDQX run that I watched. That was like, I remember like very vividly because at the very end of that run, they said something along the lines of like, you should come run the game with us. And something about like that wording of that sentence in particular just like really made me go like, oh yeah, no, this is like a super, like this is like a community of like people that just like run the game together and like share all their findings with each other. And so I was like, you know what? I might actually, because I think at that point, the only speedrunning experience I've had before that was, I think, Super Mario Odyssey, that I never, like, uploaded a run of, but I just, like, had a timer running for myself. And I never really connected with the community for that, but, like, Titanfall was the first one where I, like, actually had a community that I was able to connect with. And it was just a great experience as a whole.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
1 HP, 1 HP, 1 HP, oh my god.
Oh! What? Oh. What? What was that? What is this?
That was entirely planned. That was not lucky at all. I saw two and I was like, I'm sure the one that's standing still is the one.
Oh. Yes.
Oh.
Well, now you got me wanting to play EPG. Oh!
See, look at that. That's why EPG's the best.
Whoa, 1 crouch kick. 2 crouch kick. 3 crouch kick.
Oh my god, I can't believe I missed. I can't believe I missed that. It's like Rocket League all over again.
Rocket League.
I've been whiffing these shots. Dude, I've been playing Rocket League recently. It's really fun because I'm getting so hard carried by a friend of mine who like used to be a grand champ in like season 10, because he's also like coaching me at the same time and being like, yeah, that was you should not have gone for that ball, and I was like, I'm sorry. Oh my god. Damn.
I think it's time for our next question. So do you remember your first run, and if so, like, you know, how did it make you feel upon, you know, finishing your first run for the first time?
I don't remember per se like what the experience of my first run was like. I think I vaguely remember that I I had the kind of like tendency because like my only exposure to speedrun was like watching marathon runs. So I think I remember that I kind of like assumed that that's what everybody did in like every single run, is that you like kind of you do the run, and like while you're doing it you kind of explain what you're doing. So I like sort of did that in like a few segments, despite the fact that I had no idea what I was talking about. I think there were like a few instances in like my first run where I was like, so here's we're coming up on like a really difficult section, and it's like dome launch or something, which is like not the easiest thing in the world, but it's like something that you like one of the first things you learn as a beginner. As for how it made me feel though, I mean, I think because it was like what the hell was that?
Oh no!
Did you die from fall damage or something?
Oh,
I think you shot yourself.
Kid
That's
named
tragic.
Suspiciously Shaped Box.
But yeah, I think just because it was my first run, it was like, I guess like it would be wrong to say that I felt like really accomplished or something, but it was definitely a nice feeling like having like completed the game in like, you know, an hour and like 30 or so minutes. Because I think like, and like the average time for like a new runner has definitely gone down over time because of new strats, and like generally like the resources that people have now to like learn the game and learn it more quickly have like gotten so much better over time. But I think for when I started running, like I think it was a 136 or something. That was like a pretty decent first time, and I think I remember people telling me that as well. So like I think after the fact, when I like posted my time and people were like, that's a pretty decent time for your first run. I think Bry's first run was like 2 hours, and like he and like they held world record like when I started running, and like held world record for like the longest time too. So it was
Oh, wow.
so that was like a pretty wild experience, like hearing like the context of like everyone's first runs, and like now there's people, dude, I remember there's people who are like so incredibly good at the game because they've either have like so much experience with other Source Engine games, or like they've done like a lot of individual level runs. Like I think Gunnar is like a great example of someone who like very rarely runs full game, and like that was awesome. Who like started out running like individual levels first, and then everyone knows like this guy's really fucking good at the game, and like once he actually decides to do a full game run, like that shit is gonna be like immediately in like the top 20 at worst. Holy shit.
Okay.
And there are like a couple examples of like people who are just like absolute phenoms at the game from like the moment they just pick it up. I think Skies is another example. There are like a lot of like really great runners that like learn the game incredibly quickly, and like have had like incredible like first times on like their first runs ever. And every time I look at those, I'm like, how is that real? These people can't be real. Like people be really cracked at this game sometimes.
Yeah, pretty recently there was somebody who submitted their first run. Their name was I believe Linus, and it was like I think sub 30 for their first run. It's like 129, I believe. So
yeah,
like that's
and I think that's
awesome.
That's really cool. And I think like that's only gonna become like more and more common as time goes on, because like I was also like digging through like old messages in the Discord, and I remember back when like save states didn't even used to be a thing, right? And it's like a very simple kind of save state where it's literally just like teleports you to where you set up a little state. But like that didn't used to be a thing when I started running, but that was like one of the things that I actually contributed to the speedrun mod. And it's like that's like definitely made like a big difference in like how quickly people can like improve at this game and improve at like the routes, and like just how efficiently people can practice. It's really cool stuff.
Oh hell yeah.
Oh, I'm cracked. Oh my god, I got stuck in a mantle.
Ooh, what those?
I thought my stim could save me there. I thought a stim could save me there.
Oh, like I sort of did it.
Oh my god. I did it again, dude. I can't believe it.
Oh, time for another question. During your heyday, what was your favorite level to route or run, and why?
Ooh, I think my favorite level has, I think it's changed over time. Like I don't think I ever had like a favorite level for a really long time, but I think it always hovered around like the big three, you know, like Blood and Rust, Beacon 2, and Effect and Cause 2. I think what has been like a level I enjoy really consistently is probably... it's a toss-up between Effect and Cause 2 and Blood and Rust. I think there's like... Effect and Cause 2 is like one of those levels where it's like it has really, really cool movement sections, but it's also like a very stop-and-go level because you have a lot of... You have those like logs that you collect, right? Where Anderson like talks about like his findings and everything, and there's really no way to skip those, so you just have like these sections where you're just kind of like standing still for 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool pacing-wise because you don't have to like... Unlike Beacon 2, where you just kind of like, you have to be like locked in for the entire 2 minutes and you cannot stop for anything, and you just have to like, you hit a stop and you immediately turn around and go the other direction. And like in Effect and Cause 2, you kind of have those breaks, which is nice, but at the same time, if you're grinding out attempts and, you know, you're only getting to the first log or something, and then you have to wait 20 seconds, that can also be kind of annoying. So I think I would say Blood and Rust. If I had to like pick one, it would probably be Blood and Rust, because I think it's a nice middle ground between the two, because there are like little sections of downtime that you can enjoy, but it's like still a very dynamic level in how much movement there actually is, and like how much moment-to-moment gameplay there is. And I think it's the longest of the three as well. And I think there's also the fact that like it's kind of different in terms of movement because it's like a lot of like really tight hallways, so you have to make use of tap strafing a lot, and it can be like really satisfying to like make it through those tight hallways very quickly. And I think also just like the width of the hallways as well is like, it's not like super annoyingly dense like how it is in like some multiplayer maps where you just like have these like incredibly tiny corridors that are like barely possible to move through with anything above sprint speed. Where like in Blood and Rust, like you kind of have a little bit of space. You do still need to be very aware of your spacing and everything, and like if you mess up your slide hop route and your chain and your spacing and everything, that can like really bite you in the ass. I love how we're just kind of jumping around each other the entire time.
The Battle of Mid.
Dude. I would say like in terms of like running, that's probably like been consistently like one of my favorites. And I would say like ranks like definitely in like solid S tier. As for routing goes, I think that's a different question entirely, because I would have to remember like all the things that I've like routed, like contributions that I've made to the route. Oh, and that's a tough one as well, because off the top of my head, it's hard to remember like all the things that I've contributed to the route.
Right.
Because it's mostly been just like a lot of like really small optimizations. I think one that I stumbled across recently that was like really tiny, I think like at the very beginning of Effect and Cause Chapter 1, there's like this little, there's these circular holes where there's like these spinning fans. And because it's a circular hole, you can kind of, you can jump at the edge of one, like into the top of it. And because it's sloped, that then gives you a little bit of horizontal speed. And I came across like an early clip of me where I was just like a tiny like 2-frame optimization where like as you're moving, you jump into like the upward slope and gain like 2 kilometers an hour, like at the very beginning of the level. And I thought that was pretty. But like it would be tough to like pick a favorite in terms of like what I've like enjoyed routing the most. I can tell you which level I hate routing right now, and like one level that I like every time I try to boot up this level, I find myself in like one of the 5 stages of grief. Of grief. It's it's Abyss 1. Abyss 1 is such a pain because the Titanless strat at the very beginning, because you're supposed to embark onto BT at the very beginning, right? And that's like the old strat, but like I think it was a very OG runner, Bumpkin Batch Boy, who like one day just realized, dude, like you can just kind of like, we've known an out of bounds route for that level for like a very long time, until Bumpkin Batch Boy like was like, yeah, no, like this is actually faster. If your movement is good, you can just kind of do the whole thing and you save time over staying in BT. And like objectively, like from just looking at it, like the route of Abyss 1 looks incredibly sick and is incredibly satisfying to pull off. But I'm just so incredibly terrible at it. It's like it's 100% a skill issue thing, but I hate that level with a fucking passion. It's so incredibly hard. It's like if you ask me like what's the level that made you quit speedrunning Titanfall 2, I'd probably pick that one.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know, like the easy answer would be like a level like the Arc, because the Arc is like so janky and there's like it's such a run killer as well. And you can lose your run to like so much stuff that you have like zero control over. But like for me, it's just playing Abyss 1 and realizing I'm not what I used to be.
Do you have any takes that you would consider controversial about Titanfall 2?
Man, I don't know. Maybe my hot take is that I'm not waiting for a Titanfall 3.
Well, that's valid.
Maybe that's my hot take. I think that like I think Titanfall 2 is kind of as good as this formula is probably gonna get, and I think. Oh my god, that was a shot. I'm very proud of that one. I think I've like quite a while ago I've kind of like made my peace with the fact that like Titanfall 3, like, and even if it's, you know, just another game with the same design philosophy from Respawn or any like ex-Respawn like people, because like you know, when you saw like the High Guard announcement trailer, which is a studio that is like full of like ex-Respawners.
Yeah.
And it's like I like looked it up, and like the studio's full like of like a bunch of names that I recognize, and like people that worked on like the early Call of Duty games, which were all like really good. And that's like kind of like what everyone points to as like why Titanfall 2 was so good, is because it's like Respawn, like when it was formed, was like all of these like ex COD 4 and COD Modern Warfare 2 like developers and like design leads, and that's what you point to, because like it's like those people, they know what they're doing. And then you look at High Guard, and it's like, yeah, maybe that one's a miss. It's like, you know, it's impossible to tell before the game actually comes out, but I feel like people need to come to terms with the fact that the children might yearn for another movement game, like on the same level as Titanfall, or at least like within I would say within AAA gaming. I think people need to come to terms with the fact that that's probably not going to happen. But indie games are your space for that. Indie games are where you find that itch to be scratched. There's a lot of really good games in the indie space that like will be 10 million times more creative and daring and ambitious than any AAA game will ever dare to be. Right? Like, look at Ultra Kill. That game is such a banger, yes. And it's not like that game is Titanfall 2 a T, but it's like you can see like very, very much like that it scratches the same sort of itch, even if it doesn't have wall running in this, right? Or even if it doesn't have like a double jump that works in the exact same, or even if it doesn't have strafe float, right? It's the main thing is like, if you want a movement game, you gotta look at indie games nowadays. And I feel like generally I've also just kind of like made my peace with the fact that AAA games are just like not it anymore.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. I've been asked to play some like recent like indie movement shooter games, and I will tell you, like, they have potential.
Yeah, for real.
And like seeing the stuff that AAA puts out nowadays, you know, it's like, what can you really do about it?
Yeah, and I think it's also nice because like there's so much more potential for like a developer to community connection in the indie space, because it's like it's either smaller teams or it's like solo devs, right, that'll make these games. And it's just like in today's day and age, like you much more have like this sort of feeling where it's just like, you know, it's just a couple people that are like making a game and they want you to play it, and it's just like they want you to like try it out and see what you think. And it feels like a much more personal connection in that way, that like I think feels so much more like art than any AAA game has ever been, you know?
Right.
It feels like an actual like, because it is actual like people making things, not like that, you know, AAA games aren't made by people, even though that's kind of like that's kind of disappearing as well in a way.
Yeah.
But there's a passion that in the indie space that cannot really be felt anywhere else, and I think people need to realize that.
That's a good answer.
Good answer. We're on Family Feud now. Dude, I remember at GDQ there was a dude Viz also runner of Titanfall and like various other Quake Engine games set up a speedrunning family feud at GDQ. And that was like one of the most fun things to be a spectator of all time. That was the most recent time I went to GDQ. It was so goddamn funny.
On Zweek. Oh yeah.
Oh, he got me. He got me. He's too good.
Oh yeah.
Almost double my score. Put that in the title. Zweek is washed at Titanfall. Former world record holder can't even beat a guy in 1v1. Unbelievable.
Match 2. Start. I'll ask you another question. If there's one thing you could change about Titanfall 2, what would it be?
Okay, this is a funny one. This is one I almost prepped for because when I was looking into the one you did with Thalali as well, and I was watching that and I was thinking like what would I answer if he asked me this question, and like after a while I remembered when I was on X, formerly Twitter, I remember making a post where I was in Beacon 2 at the very end of Beacon 2, and it was just a clip of me like zooming through the whole hallway, and then I bonk at the top of the door at the very end of the level. And I just remember giving that tweet the caption of like if there's one thing I want out of a Titanfall 3, it's I want them to make one of their design pillars bigger doors. I just want bigger doors in this game, man.
Bigger doors.
Bigger doors. And if I could like extrapolate that to like, you know, something that's like maybe actually actionable, it's to just kind of like smooth out the collision on everything, because like the collision is like maybe one of the most movement hatery things about this game, despite how much of a movement game this game is. Like I think this is maybe it's like an inexperienced thing with the multiplayer maps, because I don't really play multiplayer all that much, but I find myself like, especially in multiplayer maps, just kind of like wanting to run along like some wall and then find, oh, there's like a sign that's like at the end of this wall. It's like, why is that there? It just completely stops me in my track. And like in the single player in the level BT, it's also like there's all these tiny pebbles on the floor, and as every single one of those pebbles has collision, and if you jump on them the wrong way, you just lose all your speed. You go fully 0 kmh per second.
kmh per second.
That is not a real unit. You go 0 kmh. But yeah, big doors, more smooth collision. If there's one thing I could change, that would be it.
Yeah, I like it. That's a unique answer. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. 2026 is coming up. Do you have any plans or goals for the future that you feel, comfortable sharing?
Dude, literally, my dad asked me earlier today, like, do you have any, like, any New Year's resolutions that you've already picked out? And I was like, I literally don't have anything. I, like, jokingly said, actually, should I say this? Bleep this if you want, but I jokingly said, like, I'm gonna make it my goal next year to try to do one of every drug.
Okay.
And at least my parents were like, that's kind of funny. As far as like, I guess as far as like actual goals though, let me think. I do have a video in the works right now that if I'm like super cracked at like my time scheduling, I could finish it this month, but realistically it might not work. So maybe my New Year's resolution will be to have a video that will come out in January. Other than that, though, let me think. I guess like numbers wise, I don't even know if I like want to put like numbers as like a goal for myself. I would say, okay, this is live me thinking of like New Year's resolutions and goals for myself, because I hadn't thought of this until now. But I think one thing one thought that I always keep coming back to because of how I've like been implementing like more and more levels of animation into my videos is like every time I like finish a shot and I like look at it and I'm like super happy with how it looks, and I just always think, dude, I gotta make it like a TV show at some point. And maybe that's something that I want to do in the next year, which will have like absolutely like no connection to my main content or whatever. But I might just try and like do like a project of like just make an animated short that's like maybe like 2-3 minutes long of just like telling like a fictional story that I write myself. I direct the whole thing myself, and I just make everything from scratch, and it just lives somewhere. I don't know where it would live, but that is like a project that I would totally want to do. Because that's like I like the more I delve into like those aspects of production for my videos, the more I just fall in love with the whole process of just like creation and making things in a way that, like, you know, I very much enjoy the process of like figuring stuff out, and I really enjoy like sitting in front of like a thing that I've made and being able to say I made this, you know. And I think that feeling could be like really amplified if it's like a short film that like you could see in like a theater. That's like a super ambitious thing, but like that's potentially something I could go into. There's like also like those things of like at one point I probably want to make a game or something, or like, you know, there's like my brain's going in like all these different directions of like things I want to do at some point that it's probably like not right now, but like I think with how much I've been going in that sort of direction, maybe that's like one of those big swings I could take that could live somewhere. It's not a promise, by the way. It's just like that's just a thought. Maybe that's a thing I could do in the following year.
Yeah, I've definitely, like, as a creator myself, I've definitely felt that feeling too. I always like kind of stop myself though, because I'm like, oh, I'm too busy. I don't got time to learn none of that. Like I remember.
Yeah, that's real.
I remember when because like one of my biggest inspirations for making content was like funk. Have you heard of funk?
Yes.
I love watching funk. And then, you know, I'm like, okay, I want a little guy, you know, who moves around and stuff. I want to do that part. Then I realized, wow, animating actually takes work. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Animating actually takes skill.
It is deceptively difficult because it's like it's for me at least it's almost less of a thing of like that it's like very technically difficult, but it's like the thing is like that it just the offset of time that you have to realize. It's like for like a second of animation you have to like sit there for like at least a few hours.
Yeah.
Right? And if you want to like actually like get it to like a level of quality that, you know, either like you can't tell the difference between like your own work and like professional work, is probably gonna take like multiple days. I definitely know like for like all of the animation shots that I've done so far, if we're talking like a 5-second shot, usually that's a process that like usually that's a shot that I get done in like 2 to 3 days at best. And like if I wanted to like do that in like a more professional setting of like if this was like something that you would see like a studio do, like an actual like professional animator in a studio, and you would like have like all of these extra steps of like, you know, a second person like looking over it and like giving notes, like that shit, like that stuff can take like weeks and months for like very like short pieces of animation. I remember, I don't remember exactly what it was, but I think one of the animators at Riot who like I think he talked about like the hero select animation, which is like 45 seconds. And I think in that video he said like that, like those 45 seconds were like 3 months of work. And like most of that animation is literally the character actually just standing still. Like most of this 45 seconds are the character standing still and just kind of looking around. And that still takes 3 months. Like that's crazy.
Oh wow.
Like of course you can kind of like pick a gradient of like how much time you want to put into something, because like the thing is at some point you start getting diminishing returns. Like you put in like the first 20% of effort and you will usually get like 80% of the way there, and then the other 80% are the, you know, are what you do to get the last 20%, right? So it's like this curve that like is really steep at the beginning and then it kind of flattens out over time. And so I think, especially if you want to do stuff on YouTube and you want to have like a faster turnaround time, I guess you could say, is you have to kind of like know when that inflection point is, I guess, of like when do you start getting diminishing returns, or like when is it like worth to like call an animation good enough, you know? And I think that's a very valuable skill in its own right. Ooh. I'm gonna actually try and like lock in this one. I have not been locking in at all for the past few rounds. It's also because I don't really know how to play any Titan.
Yeah,
but I remember playing Pugs, and I was like, I'm gonna play Ronin, and like the one tip that someone gave me was like that, like Ronin is a Titan that you poke with, kind of like poke out, do some damage, and then just dash back out. I have not been using any of my abilities.
I didn't know you played a Pug.
Wait, I have Sword Core. I don't have it bound. I can't use my core. This is the worst day of my life.
Oh hell no!
Oh no!
Oh hell no!
Oh, I'm on 1 HP. Okay, that being said, I think I've dealt more damage this round than any other round before this. So honestly, that's a win for. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately,
so smart. What the hell?
This really is Coughing Baby versus Hydrogen Bomb, because
that was very much Coughing Baby versus Hydrogen Bomb, but it was very fun. I enjoyed that a great deal.
Because unfortunately, I do have comp experience, and I have won a tournament before. So.
Oh, I see how it is.
I'm a little cracked at this game. I've got like 3 subscribers. Pretty big deal. I'm a top 3 Ronin in my household, actually. So.
Top 3 in my household is actually such a good line. I really like that one.
Now, my next question for you is, well, I might already know the answer to this one, because I've looked at your Discord profile, and there's a certain game that keeps showing up. So,
oh my god.
My question for you is, what's your favorite game?
Okay, despite what my Discord profile said, like Brazilian Drug Dealer 3, I opened a portal to hell in the favela, and to revive Mitaya, I need to close it. It's not actually my favorite game, but I do enjoy that game a great deal. I would say, dude, actually, like overall favorite game is actually a very, very tough question. I think if we're going off like straight numbers, I think Titanfall 2 is probably the game I've put the most hours into. And I think it's the game I've like had probably like the deepest connection to. I'm trying to think, like, is there like a game? Okay. I think there are like other games. Like, of course, like 8 hours aren't like the universal thing. I think there are also games that like I've had like such unique and like unforgettable experiences with, like Outer Wilds and like Dark Souls. Yeah. I think when I first like beat Dark Souls like for the first time, I think I remember thinking like, okay, yeah, I think Dark Souls is my favorite game of all time. Like that shit was peak. And it's been such a long time since I've played Dark Souls, and it's like the experience of like, you know, like playing a game for the first time is like is an experience that you will only have once. And it's like, right? Like you can never play Outer Wilds for the first time. And like that's like such a special first experience that like you end up kind of almost forgetting what it was like in a way. At least that's kind of like how it feels like for me. Yeah. Right? Like it's I don't remember how it first felt beating Dark Souls 1 for the first time, but I do remember like thinking like I think Dark Souls is my favorite at that time. And I think since then Outer Wilds is definitely up there, Titanfall 2 is definitely up there. But I think it would be so impossible for me to like just like straight up pick one. You know, it's like I can definitely I can always like give a list of like games I really, really enjoy and like consistently like will always recommend to people. You know, Outer Wilds and Titanfall definitely being on that list. I'm trying to think if they're whoa, what the hell was that shot? God damn. I'm trying to think what other games I would put on that list. I'd probably have to go through my Steam library, and I'd probably like come across a couple of titles that I'll like recognize, and I'll be like, yeah, that one is peak. I really, really love Hades, for example. I wouldn't put that like on my all-time favorite list, but it is definitely that has always also been like a really great experience for me. Like, what's the last game that made me cry? I'm trying to think, like, what's the last game that made me cry? And I think that the answer for that one is probably also Outer Wilds again.
Yeah, Outer Wilds is a really great game.
I think the Outer Wilds DLC, like, I think the Outer Wilds DLC, like, made me, like, properly cry. And I think, like, dude, even listening to the soundtrack for that game, dude, there are a few tracks, like, that will consistently make me weep. Like every single time I listen to them. I think I've added them to like a private. I don't even think it's a private playlist anymore. I think I've added to a playlist called Cry Mode, which is just like a bunch of songs that I've compiled that I'm like, if I listen to these, I will break down crying. And you know, sometimes that kind of playlist is just really handy to have.
Yeah.
But I'm honestly like really. You know what? I'm just gonna scroll through. Dude, Celeste. Like, I open up my Steam and I see Celeste and I'm like, of course Celeste, dude. Celeste is also so totally up there. I really enjoyed Neon White. I probably wouldn't put that on my, like, all-time favorites, but I really enjoyed that. I mean, Portal 2 is pretty great. I think because I've also speedrun it. I think, okay, I would probably say, like, my top 3, I would probably say are Titanfall 2, Outer Wilds, and Celeste. I think those are my 3 picks. Those are my top 3 all time.
That's pretty solid.
I've yet to play like games like Hollow Knight though.
You should. You really should.
There's like this. Okay, just like contrary to what you might think about like me and indie games with like how much I praised indie games and like 3 questions back. I actually haven't played that many indie games, and there are like so many like generally regarded like classics in the indie space that I just haven't played, and Hollow Knight is definitely one of them.
Yeah, I
regret it each day.
I've also started recently getting to like my indie era, because like people like Talale put me onto Hollow Knight and and Celeste, and originally I was like, man, these games are like platformers and stuff. Like, I don't think I'll enjoy them, but insert like that one picture or like that one video, like Shaq, like like eating like the hot wing, and he's like, ooh. That's me trying out like Hollow Knight or Celeste.
Yeah, that's super real. It's definitely a bit of a jump. Oh yeah, you actually. Oh my god, you did the same thing. You did the thing that I did twice.
I love my explosive weapons.
I love my splash damage.
Oh, so much.
But yeah,
splash.
it's definitely like it can be such a like a daunting kind of jump to like just hop into a completely different genre of game that you like have never tried before. But then it's like when you try it for the first time and then you realize, oh my god, there's like this whole other like realm of games that like have these like incredibly different ways of working that I've never explored, and it's just like it's such an eye-opening experience every time, and I love it.
Learning that there's games that don't have a gun or a ball in it is awesome.
It's real. That's so real. Dude, can you imagine there's games that just like tell a story and don't have any violence in them? That's so awesome. Reminds me of like one of my favorite like meme images I've ever made was like, oh dude, oh what was the exact text? I was like, oh yeah, I think it was fuck violence in video games. I want to experience. I need to find that image, dude. What was it? I want to explore fantastical worlds and experience deeply personal stories that make me cry. And it was just like that on top of like a scary skeleton guy. It was like that archetype of meme.
Oh hell yeah!
And I stand by the text I put down on that image till the day I die. I wish there were more games that had no violence. They once said I was goated both with and even without the sauce.
Is that allowed? Is that true? Can somebody fact check this?
Don't fact check that.
Don't fact check it, please.
Please don't. Just believe me. Oh my god. That was maybe the scariest sound of all time. That was such a loud shot. Just seeing that, like hearing that whiz by.
So, in terms of speedrunning, are there any plans to start something soon, or are you happy so far with what you achieved in Titanfall 2 or other games like Mirror's Edge?
I would definitely say, in terms of Titanfall 2, I don't see myself like ever really seriously competing in that game. I do definitely want to like run the game in like a casual perspective. That's kind of what I've done with Mirror's Edge. I feel like I've started running Mirror's Edge sort of like casually because I've realized that with Titanfall 2, I've kind of like I've found myself in like a spot mentally where I was like expecting way too much from myself because like, you know, because I played at such a competitive level for a brief time, and because I held the world record for like a week or two, I ended up just having like such high expectations, and like when I didn't meet those expectations, which were like unrealistically good play of like making no mistakes in a run ever, I realized that like I had like a very unhealthy approach in the way I ran the game. So I would say if I do want to like run Titanfall 2, it does definitely need to be in the same sort of like casual and just like fun having perspective that I speedrun Mirror's Edge. Because when I started running that game, I kind of just like set as my goal, I don't even want to like get a PB or like improve my record. I just want to improve my average, right? So I always compared against my average runs, and I never compared them against my PB. And I always also made sure to finish a run as like, if I start a run, 99% chance that I would finish, right? So I'd pretty much only do no reset runs, and I think that has been just a really good experience for me because it kind of like force my brain to let go of perfection. And I think for me at least, that is probably like the most fun I've ever had speedrunning, I would say. And I think that's kind of like the approach that I want to take with speedrunning in general going forward. No matter like what game it is, it will probably be difficult to do that with Titanfall, I would say, because you know, going from like having been like a top player in my heyday, in my prime, right, and going back to like, you know, picking up the game again but being significantly worse than I used to be, like that is definitely something that I would like have to come to terms with for sure.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I like that is definitely something that I would like to try. I don't know how that will end up going though. As for like other games, I'm having a good time with Mirror's Edge, even though I don't like super actively run that at the moment either. It's just kind of like I think I do generally like have the tendency, like if I'm gonna make a video about any, like if I'm gonna make a video that covers a game, I do kind of have to run that game for like at least the duration in which I'm making that video, which usually means like I'm gonna be running that game for a few months. So if I like want to make a video about Half-Life 1, I'm gonna be running Half-Life 1, and I'm not gonna be aiming for like any specific time. I'm just gonna be like, okay, I just want to play the game, and I just want to like do speed runs. I don't care about like improving my PB. I don't care about like having a specific spot on the leaderboard. I'm literally just speedrunning the game for fun, for the love of the game, even you could say, you know?
Yeah.
And I think if you want to put it that way, that would probably be like my main goal in the realm of speedrunning going forward, is like approaching every game, even if I have a history with it, with the sort of mindset of I'm literally just playing the game and I just happen to have a timer running and I'm just trying to have a good time. Because that is something that I've historically struggled, you know?
Yeah, that's a very good mentality to have, I feel.
Oh my god.
Because, like, one of the reasons why I stopped speedrunning, because, like, I'm a perfectionist at heart. So if I don't improve in something, I'm like, oh, I start hating it. And I don't want to hate a game that I like, right? So
you don't want to hate a game that you love, you know?
Yeah, so I kind of just stop, or I just hang around, play casually, or try to do other things on the same game.
Yeah, and you're so real for that.
Yes, sir.
And I think that's also something that people don't realize is like within a speedrunning community, you don't have to necessarily speedrun the game. Like there are so many other roles to fill that like enrich the community in such different ways. Like you can be like making tutorials. You could be helping build resources. You could be working on Ronin. Like Elad is a great example. Like does not run the game at all, but like has thousands of hours of just like sitting in the lobby, like testing Ronin and like seeing if it's working and just adding so many like great tools and additions and practice tools. that like the community would not be the same without him, and like he's not a runner of the game at all, right? And then there's also people like Dorito, for example, who also doesn't really run the game that actively, but like has an incredible history with like running and organizing tournaments, right? And like there's I think it's like so incredibly valid and so incredibly valuable even to like be a part of a speedrunning community, even if you're not a speedrunner yourself.
Oh, also, hearing Dorito's name and what he thinks about the game now, every time I talk to him, or every time
Does he hate the game?
Every time
Oh no!
Timefall is mentioned, he's like, I hate this game, bro. L.
Oh no!
It's like, okay, damn.
Dude, my level of knowledge was outdated. Oh no.
Yeah, he's a full-time hater now.
Oh, well, that doesn't sound very out of character for Dorito, honestly. The Dorito is kind of a hater at heart for a lot of things.
That is so true.
Yeah.
Okay.
That being said, though, I do still very much appreciate his contributions to the Mark March series.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He was awesome. For this next question, besides, you know, gaming, making content, is there like another hobby you want to share?
Oh, dude, I have like the most stereotypical cool dude hobby. I'm a b-boy, actually.
Really?
Yeah. I started in like February last year. I got into it because of an ex-colleague who has been doing it for like 10 plus years. And like after work, like one day he was just like, you know, if you want, you can just like come along for training one day, because it was like, you know, just like a free sort of thing that everyone could come to and just kind of train there for 2 hours. And I like that was at a time when I had not done any physical activity, any kind of exercise for years. So I went in like I did just say like, all right, you know what, fuck it, I'll just try it. I went into it expecting to hate it because, you know, I'd never danced, I'd never like done anything physical really. You know, the last time I was like physically active was like in high school when I took like 3 years of like karate, and that was also like such a long time ago. So I had been like just like sitting on my chair for like most of my life at that point. But then I tried it out, and it was nice because there was like, you know, one of the people that was training there was giving a beginner course to like university student, and then I kind of tagged along and learned some of the basics. And then I realized like holy shit, it's actually fun as hell to just move your body around. And it's like it like completely flabbergasted me that it was just like I was actually having fun doing this, despite the fact that I was terrible at it, and I'm still like pretty terrible at it, you know, because like compared to like all the people I train with who have like a decade or more of experience. But it's like it's been like one of the things that I've gotten into that has enriched my life in such a way that I never thought to be possible. You know, it's like very stereotypical like cool guy thing, but it's like also gotten me into like other styles of dance. Like another style of dance that I really enjoy is waving, which is a little bit more niche, but it's like you've probably seen someone like do like an arm wave before, where they just kind of like they like move their individual joints to like kind of give the impression that there's like a wave moving over their body, and there's like a whole style of dance attached to that. That's really, really cool. It's really technical, and I think that's probably like what I enjoy about that style of dance as much, is because like the first few sessions that you do, you kind of just have to have someone like explain the mechanics of the whole thing, of like, you know, now you move like this joint, and now you move like rotate your elbow in this particular way, so that like you kind of like give the illusion of a wave going through your body. And there's like a very like specific like technical part of that like tickles my brain in like a really funny way. But yeah, I would say like dance in general, and like in particular breaking is like a big thing that I'm into.
That's awesome to hear. Okay, and I think we're, well, how long have we been at this? Like an hour? Woo!
That was a podcast and a half.
that was. I actually didn't expect it to go for that long. But that's.
I'm a yapper. What can I say?
That's awesome. It's content. It's content.
You can split this into 3 parts.
I can. Oh, dude, I can milk this. I can milk the shit out of this.
You can make one for every round that we played.
Okay. But yeah, I think that's all the time I really have for today. Before we go though, is there anybody in the community you want to shout out?
I think I really want to shout out my friend Brian, Brian Otto, for getting me into speedrunning. I think like Brian has been such an instrumental figure into like, and honestly, if you've seen like the domino meme where you like tip a little domino and it just like has this cascading effect where it like progressively knocks over bigger dominoes. That little like Brian doing that G to QX run is like pushing that little domino that like kind of like changed my entire life trajectory to where it is right now. Like I've never even like said this to them like directly, but like I guess I'm saying it here. I just want to like, you know, a huge shout out to Brian Otto for like being an incredibly important person in my life in that way, I guess.
That is awesome to hear. But yeah, man, it was good having you on here this week. Even though, like,
dude, this was a great time. This was really fun.
You're a bit of a yapper, but you know that's awesome.
I am a bit of a yapper. Yeah, I had a good time.
Okay, but yeah, that's gonna be all from me, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I did. And Zweek, I'm gonna say this for like the third or fifth time again. Thank you for being here. Thank you for saying yes. It's always good to hear from you.
Thank you for having me.
And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.